Hello. As you may have heard, today Donald Trump pardoned General Michael Flynn. Now, Flynn responded with his own tweet. It referenced the Bible verse Jeremiah 1:19, and they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee. Flynn was talking about President Trump. He wasn't talking about himself. And the reason Trump pardoned General Flynn was that Flynn was being represented by Sidney Powell. And, the Justice Department wanted the case against Flynn dismissed, and the federal judge involved would simply not cooperate. And the judge was basically making up new laws, and this was going on and on and on, and it was costing Flynn lots of money and tons of money, and it was a complete perversion of the law, which is of course what we've seen uh, among everyone involved with the Obama administration. And so Trump pardoned Flynn in order to free up Sidney Powell to pursue her case, which is, proving election fraud. And this is it's really fascinating to me because obviously General Flynn knows everything that's going on, and he was former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and Obama fired him because he dared criticize Obama for lying about what was going on in Afghanistan, Iraq. Just basically the CIA was giving us all happy talk, and the Defense Department was giving us happy talk. Um, to make Obama look good. And, Flynn publicly blew the whistle on this, and so he was fired. And, they've been after Flynn ever since because Obama is a very vengeful person. You may have heard that he's out there trashing Hispanics on a daily basis now. And, this is a guy, I mean, as of this moment, the world thinks Joe Biden won, and Biden keeps putting out messages about how we have to unify and heal and all that. And here's Obama, um, basically expressing his abject hatred of people who didn't vote for Joe Biden. And this is the type of guy he is. He's extremely vengeful, but it's not vengeance. It's not justifiable vengeance. You know, uh, Biden's his plea for unity and healing and all that is bogus. But um, Obama is proving that you know the people who are going to try and impose a corporatist Marxist absolute dictatorship on us, you know, they're only starting their persecution, as you can see with the massive culling of conservative voices from social media platforms, and just the threats being made, physical and otherwise. So I'll tell you my own story at the end of all this. But what what I'm reminded of is that when when General Flynn was being interviewed by the FBI. Um, three separate times he made the comment, looking out the window, "What a beautiful black sky." And, nobody was able to figure out what he was talking about, and it unsettled the FBI agents. Basically, Flynn was telling them that, um, their, I think Flynn was telling them that their comeuppance was on the way. And there was no satisfactory explanation for black sky, but I found a poem that I'm pretty sure that General Flynn knew about, and I'm pretty sure this is the reference. The poem in question was by a man named Guy Humphrey McMaster, and Guy Humphrey McMaster studied law, and he wrote and published several poems before he gave up his literary ambitions and he went into law, and full time he became a judge. And his poem, The Old Continentals, is about the Continental Army that fought against the British during the American Revolution. I'm going to link that poem and another, the next poem below. But the Old Continentals is very well known by patriots, so it's very likely that General Flynn knew that poem. And if General Flynn did know the work of Guy Humphrey McMaster, then he would have known The Northern Lights, which is a poem about Armageddon. The poem describes all the forces of evil rising up and coming after us. This is the final stanza of the poem, and what it's doing is it's describing the forward march of the forces of evil. And it says, "Wave, all ye Stygian hordes, through the black sky your swords." I think that General Flynn was referencing this poem, and he was referencing the forces of evil waving their swords in the black sky. But the poem ends by saying, "Are you guys seriously tempting St. Michael Archangel again, who drove you in dreadful rout down to the night's vast dungeon before?" So I think that's what the general was talking about, the forces of evil advancing under a black sky, because as McCabe said, it wasn't a black sky. He made his comment three times, "What a beautiful black sky." I felt for a long time that this is Armageddon. I know that most people, if they believe in the concept of Armageddon, they think it's a final battle. But if you actually research it, you find out that it's a campaign. And that makes sense, because I don't think we're ever going to see the total defeat of evil and then have only good on the planet. I think that we're basically fighting Armageddon forever, but the forces of evil are going to be defeated. The reasons for all of this are very simple. Evil can't actually create, it can only destroy. And so people who create will always be able to defeat evil. And our two-term president, Donald Trump, is a builder. He's like the ultimate creator. He created the way that the vaccine for this pandemic was developed and is going to be distributed. You can see that Trump is not nervous or afraid. I've been under constant harassment for years now. Telephone harassment, junk mail harassment. The IRS messes with me. The California Franchise Tax Board messes with me. They keep telling me I didn't file my taxes, and so I have to prove all over again I filed my taxes, and then they say, well, you have to provide us a printout of your tax returns, and my federal tax return is about that thick, so it's a real pain in the ass, and that's why they do it. And it's clear that the phones are tapped because they let us know. We hear they make all sorts of sounds. They disconnect us. And what my brother and I do is we taunt them. We call them the mole rats. Mole rats are disgusting looking things that live underground. So we call them the mole rats. We say, "Hi guys, nice that you're here again." And what's odd about their gaslighting is that they still think it's going to do something, and it's not going to do anything. They can do whatever they want to me. It's not going to stop Trump from being sworn in on January 20th, 2021. It's amazing that they think that harassing me is a prudent expenditure of time and energy, but whatever. So they 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 have fake junk calls, and I don't know what it is they're trying to get me to do. They there's multiple junk calls several times a day telling me that I've qualified for everything under the sun by, in different industries, but it's always the same voice. It's always the same recording. So, initially I opted out, but you can opt out. They say press 9, and no matter what the call is from, it's always the same male voice saying, "Thank you, we won't bother you again." And so finally, it said, if you want to talk to a human, press 2. So I pressed number 2, and when I was connected, I would just say things like, "Hello, my brother. Greetings from hell. I have been sent by Satan." And, just, or other times I would just go, and they would always hang up. And what I noticed is that it's always the same male voice. It's a very distinctive American voice. It's a guy in his mid-30s. And I know I'm not supposed to say that you can tell somebody's race from their voice, but you can. This is a white guy in his mid-30s, and it's always the same voice on the messages, on everything. And so it's a really, whoever they contracted this out to is bottom of the barrel. And I get tons of hang-up calls. It's just a classic silence and whatever. So what I do is I say, "Hey, nice to hear from you. How are things going today?" And then, they hang up. So what I started doing was saying, I'd taunt them, I'd mock them, I'd goad them, whatever. And then I'd say, "Okay, now hang up. Hang up. You can do it. I know you can do it. Hang up." And eventually the person would hang up. So recently, I get one hang up call a day, and recently I started saying things like, "Are your pants down around your ankles? Are you pleasuring yourself as you talk to me? Okay, hang up now. Hang up." And so today, I said, when I got the hang up call, and you can't trace these calls. They're using whatever I've tried to trace them, and the phone company can't get them, and there's no way to know who's making these calls. But today I said, when the hang upper called, um, I said something like, "Look, as hard as you try, I'm never going to bed with you. Um, you're never going to get to see my beautiful, pristine penis. So you might as well give up, and now you need to hang up. Hang up, obedient little bitch. I know that's what you're going to do. You must obey me because you always hang up when I tell you to hang up. So hang up." And this time, the same male voice said, "How you doing, Grandpa?" and then hung up. So Donald Trump and Michael Flynn would be very proud of me. I goaded this guy into confirming what my brother and I knew, that our phones are tapped and this is all harassment. And they contracted this out to somebody who is so bottom of the barrel that I was able to goad him into confirming that he's tapping my phones and harassing me. And all it took was making it was mocking him, goading him. And I think that's really funny because he's trying to scare me. He's trying to gaslight me, and he's such a crappy sub-professional contractor that I got him to break his silence. So now the laws in California about recording telephone conversations are very, very, very strict. You need consent from both parties. So I just want to make clear to everybody that I don't record my phone calls. Um, Now, the reason the gaslighting and the harassment doesn't faze me is that, this means nothing to me after what I've been through in my life. And, you know, I'm just not, I'm not afraid. I mean, I've experienced things that most people can't comprehend. So, um, some some ridiculous contractor, you know, doing hang up calls isn't going to bother me. And even if they escalate it further into like physical harassment, I get the sense that they're building up to something. Um, and just bring it on, guys. One of my favorite movies is called The Scalp Hunters, starring Burt Lancaster and Ozzie Davis. It's a brilliant movie on multiple levels. It's about a mountain man named Joe Bass, and he ends up having all his furs stolen, and it's Native Americans who do this, and they give him uh, uh, a runaway black slave played by Ozzie Davis. And so Ozzie Davis and Joe, or yeah, Ozzie Davis is very literate. He worked in the house on the plantation, and so uh, uh, Joe Bass. It's really funny in the whole movie. Everybody calls him Joe Bass. Joe Bass. Um, he's a brilliant, resourceful guy, but he has contempt for Ozzie Davis because Ozzie Davis was a slave, and he's not um, he's not schooled in firearms and fighting and all of that. And so it's all about how Joe Bass comes to see Ozzie Davis as just as resourceful and skilled as he is. And it's an exceptional film. The stuff that Lancaster does to get his furs back is really entertaining and mind blowing. It's as they say in the trailer, Joe Bass is a one-man vendetta, a man who will move mountains to get what he wants, and it shows him causing this gigantic rock slide. So, but the movie The Scalp Hunters has a great scene where Lancaster is captured and tied up by Telly Savalas, and Telly Savalas is a pure psychopath, and he takes out a Bowie knife, and he says, "I'm going to peel off all that pretty white skin 1 inch at a time." And Joe Bass spits in his face and says, "Stop talking, you ugly bastard, and do it." And, that's me. If I get carted away and tied to a chair somewhere and they peel off my skin 1 inch at a time, I'm just going to be, I'm going to be insulting them. I'm going to be mocking them, because at the end of it all, I go see God. I go home. And, I've been in physical and psychological pain my entire life. So I'm not afraid of pain. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of anything. And the thing to remember, to the guy who is going to be watching this video and who blew his cover just because I goaded him into doing it, regardless of what you do to me, Donald Trump will still take the oath of office on January 20th, 2021.
Most importantly, I want to congratulate the people of our country, because there are no people like you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Mr. President, sir, why not concede for the good of the country? Sir, why not concede for the good of the country, sir?
That was weird as shit.
Click.